Some people walk into a room and speak with such confidence that everyone listens. Their words are clear. Their thoughts are deep. They explain things so simply, yet so powerfully. They understand quickly. They think before they speak. And when they do speak, their voice carries weight. What sets them apart? It's not a fancy degree. It's not expensive coaching. It's not just talent. It's a habit. A quiet habit. A habit called reading. Yes, reading. The one thing that looks small on the outside, but builds greatness on the inside. Reading is not just a school activity. It's not just about passing exams or finishing homework. It's much more than that. Reading is a secret door. A door that opens to new worlds, new ideas, and new parts of yourself. It lets you travel without moving. It lets you meet people you've never seen. It helps you understand life, love, success, failure, pain, and hope, all without leaving your chair. Books don't just give you stories. They give you strength. They give you words when you can't find your own. They give you answers to questions you didn't know you had. Through reading, your mind gets sharper. Your language becomes richer. Your thinking becomes deeper. You learn how to express yourself, how to listen, and how to grow. And suddenly, you're not just reading sentences. You're building a better version of yourself, page by page. Reading is powerful. It doesn't shout. It doesn't show off. But slowly, it changes everything. Your confidence grows. Your focus improves. Your heart becomes more open. That's the beauty of reading. Anyone can do it. Anywhere. Anytime. It doesn't cost much. It just takes a little time and a little curiosity. So today, we're going to talk about why reading is not just important. It's life-changing because people who read don't just learn about the world. They learn how to change it. And maybe, just maybe, they learn how to change themselves too. Let's open that door together. Reading grows your mind. Reading is like exercise, but for your brain. Just like lifting weights makes your muscles stronger, reading makes your mind sharper. Every time you read, your brain gets a little more active, a little more alert, and a lot more powerful. You come across new words you've never seen before. You begin to understand ideas that once felt too difficult. Your vocabulary slowly grows, and so does your ability to think clearly and deeply. Reading doesn't just teach you facts. It teaches you how to think, how to reason, how to question, and how to imagine. Let's say you read a simple story. At first, you're just following the plot, but without even realizing it, your brain is working in the background. It's connecting ideas, remembering details, noticing patterns, and imagining scenes. You're practicing focus, memory, creativity, all at the same time. The more you read, the better your memory becomes. You start remembering characters, facts, timelines, and details. Your attention span gets longer. You're not jumping from one thing to another, like on social media. You're staying with one idea, one story, and that trains your brain to go deeper. Reading also helps you think in new ways. You see how different people solve problems. You learn about different cultures, opinions, and ways of life. You begin to understand that there's more than one way to look at the world. And that kind of thinking? That's called growth. Or time. Something amazing happens. You start to change. You begin asking better questions. You start seeing solutions instead of problems. You look at situations more calmly, more wisely. You become a better thinker. And all this comes from reading just a little every day. A few pages in the morning. A short chapter at night. Bit by bit, word by word, you build a stronger, smarter version of yourself. So yes, reading really does grow your mind. It's quiet, it's simple, but the effects are powerful. Because people who read don't just get smarter. They begin to see the world and themselves in a whole new way. Reading improves language and speaking. Want to speak better English? Want your words to flow easily and your sentences to sound natural? There's one powerful way to get there. Read more English. When you read regularly, you start to see how the language really works. You don't just learn grammar rules from a book, you see them in action. You notice how sentences are built, how words fit together, and how ideas are shared clearly. It's like watching a MasterChef cook. You learn just by observing. Reading helps your brain remember how English works. You see the same sentence patterns again and again. You start to notice, oh, this is how questions are asked. This is how opinions are shared. This is how polite requests are made. And slowly, those patterns become part of the way you think and speak. The best part? You don't have to memorize boring grammar charts. Just by reading stories, articles, or even simple conversations, your brain picks up the rhythm of the language. You begin to feel when something sounds right, and when it doesn't. Reading also improves your vocabulary. Every time you come across a new word, your brain stores it, even if you don't use it right away. Over time, your word bank grows. You'll have more ways to express your thoughts, emotions, and ideas. And guess what? When your vocabulary grows, your confidence grows too. You start speaking without fear. You start enjoying conversations. You stop worrying about making mistakes, because now you have the tools. Even your pronunciation gets better. When you read dialogues, you can hear the tone, the pauses, and the natural flow. You can even read out loud to practice speaking. It's like training your mouth and mind to work together. Reading is not just about quiet learning. It's active training for real conversations. It gives you the grammar, the vocabulary, the confidence, and most importantly, the natural feel of the language. So if you want to speak English smoothly, clearly, and confidently, make reading a daily habit. Because every page you read brings you one step closer to speaking like a native. Reading reduces stress and helps your emotions. Life can be stressful. There are days when everything feels heavy. Work, school, relationships, worries about the future. It all piles up. Sometimes, even when you sit in a quiet room, your mind is still loud. Thoughts keep spinning. Your heart feels tired. You just want peace. That's where reading comes in. A book doesn't raise its voice. It doesn't ask for anything from you. It simply invites you into a calm and gentle world. When you read, it feels like time slows down. You stop thinking about your problems for a while. You leave the noise behind. Reading takes you to a different place. It can be a faraway land, a new city, or even someone else's life. For those few minutes or hours, you are no longer trapped in your stress. You are free. But reading does more than just help you escape. It also helps you understand your own emotions. Books about love, pain, joy, or loss. These stories reflect our inner world. They remind us that we're not alone, that others have felt what we feel, and that healing is possible. Sometimes, just one story, a line, a moment, a character can speak directly to your heart. It gives you strength. It makes you feel seen. It teaches you to be gentle with yourself. So the next time your mind feels heavy and your heart feels low, pick up a book. Let it be your quiet friend. Let it bring peace to your storm. Because sometimes the best therapy is a simple story told well. Reading makes you wiser. Books are like silent teachers. Inside every book, there are lessons, real lessons from real lives. Some are about success. Some are about failure. Some are about love, pain, war, peace, growth, and everything in between. Most of the people who wrote these books learned things the hard way. They made mistakes, they faced struggles, they had to grow through pain. But they didn't keep their lessons to themselves. They shared them with you. And when you read their words, you learn without going through the same pain. That's the magic of reading. You get to borrow someone else's wisdom. You don't have to live 100 lives. You just have to read 100 books. Reading helps. You understand people better. You begin to see why people act the way they do. You understand different cultures, beliefs, and emotions. You stop judging so quickly. You become more patient, more kind, more human. Books also teach you how the world works. Through history, you see the rise and fall of nations. Through stories, you see how choices shape lives. Through biographies, you learn how leaders think and how great minds solve problems. Little by little, reading changes the way you think. You start asking smarter questions. You stop following the crowd. You begin making better choices, not just for yourself, but for the people around you. That's what wisdom is. Not just knowing facts, but understanding life. And books, more than anything else, help you grow in that direction. Page by page, they turn you into someone who sees more, feels more, and chooses better. That's why reading makes you wiser. Reading changes your future, success, confidence, and personal growth. These are the things everyone wants. But how do you get them? The answer might be simpler than you think. It starts with reading. If you want to be successful, start reading. If you want to feel more confident in yourself, start reading. If you want to grow and improve a little every day, start reading. Books have a special power. They change the way you think. And when your thinking changes, everything in your life changes with it. Your goals become clearer. Your decisions become smarter. Your dreams feel closer and more real. Many of the world's most successful people will tell you the same thing. Books made me who I am. They didn't just read for fun. They read to learn new skills, to understand the world better, and to become better versions of themselves. Reading helps you see possibilities you never imagined. It shows you new paths when you feel lost. It teaches you how others overcame challenges and reached their dreams. And most importantly, it gives you the confidence to believe that you can do it too. The best part? You don't have to wait for a perfect time to start. You don't need a lot of money or special tools. All you need is a book and the willingness to open it. Every page you read plants a seed of change. Over time, these seeds grow into knowledge, confidence, and new habits that shape your future. So, if you want to change your life, start with reading. Because when you change your mind, you change your future.